This is pretty big. We asked this guy every time he's on about a transformational deal. I think this might qualify. I'm talking about Dow Chemical and a multi-billion-dollar joint venture. If you had to guess for a part of the world where this would be, yeah, it's with a unit of state-owned Kuwait Petroleum. Joining me now, Andrew Liveris, Chairman and CEO of Dow Chemical. Thanks for coming on here first, Mr. Liveris.
Thank you, Joe.
Let me see if I got this straight. You take half of your business, you combine it with the assets of a unit of Kuwait Petroleum for a joint venture, and they give you $9.5 billion in cash?
Sure, Joe. No, it's not half the business. It's the petrochemical part of Dow, which is about $12 billion of revenue, but it's all petrochemical-related products. And what fundamentally Kuwait Petroleum sees is Dow's global franchise, our technology, our great operation skills, and actually for them, it's a great way to diversify away from oil and gas. So it's a win-win. And as you say, the transaction in terms of net to Dow for the 50% ownership is $9.5 billion. So it's a win-win-win. Win for Dow shareholders, a win for the petrochemical business. This is going to be a #1 player, and a win for Kuwait Petroleum.
Well, your market cap's $39 billion, Mr. Liveris, and you're valuing the assets you're given at $19.5. But so you're not. This isn't even half of your business. So your stock price is undervalued then, based on this deal.
Absolutely, we've been saying that for a long time. That energy prices and where they've gone, and our assets around the world, all these joint ventures we're putting in place, we have fundamentally created new value. And a great example now is right in front of your very eyes. The people who see the value of petrochemicals and plastics around the world are valuing us way beyond what the New York Stock Exchange seems to reflect. But of course, we'll have a lot more to say about that. This is a landmark deal. It's a transformational deal. It creates a #1 global franchise, and Dow gets to participate in it, 50%. We still get to play. We get to play because we're backward integrated with oil and gas.
Can you get a deal for the rest of your businesses? Kuwait has some oil, right? I mean, isn't that a feedstock? You could probably get they may have some oil to give you for the rest of your products, no?
Well, I tell you, the petrochemical world, and again, Dow's not all petrochemicals. There's 2/3 of our business is not related to oil and gas. Now that business is out on its own without the petrochemical part, in fact, the 50% of the petrochemical part that moves off. Actually, with Jon Snow there, if you like, that part of the business is going private, although half of it is owned by the public company.
Can we do a deal right now, John?
Andy, how are you?
John, good to see you.
I saw you writing something down. Are you working out
the
discounted net?
I've taken careful note of what Andy had to say there.
Blackberrying the terms of the deal. Right
well, let's announce it. Let's announce it right now. We can't do that, probably. Mr. Liveris, you had recently some, what do you call it, rationalization when you have a huge company, what, 42,000 employees or something, so 1,000 is not a lot. But what happened? You're closing down some plants, getting rid of some low-growth businesses?
Well, low growth, not value creating, but again, the new oil and gas realities that we're all living with has meant that some of the assets, especially in the United States and Europe, just can't compete on the global stage anymore. The reality is, Joe, that the U.S. no longer is competitive exporting plastics and chemicals. So if we have assets in the United States and Europe that can't export, they're not value creating, they'll be shut down. We've shut down 92 assets in the last 5 years.
Do you think you were in competition for Kuwait's affections on this?
You know, I'd say it the other way. We are welcomed. I just got in from the Middle East. I just arrived literally 3 hours ago. I've been in Saudi Arabia. I've been in Kuwait. I've been in the United Arab Emirates. Out there, they need to diversify away from just oil and gas. They understand it. They know this time around with the petrodollar, they can't just do white elephant projects. They need to be strategic investors and create economic diversification for their economies. To being part of a global franchise like this is a no-brainer. I think it's the other way around.
I understand that. I meant, were they talking to anyone else? Why did they decide to place their bets with you?
Simply put, relationships. We've been with Kuwait Petroleum for 10 years. We just celebrated the 10-year anniversary this week. They know us, they trust us, and over 10 years, we've delivered. We delivered everything we said we would deliver. We have great people on the ground out there, and they trust us.
Just real quickly, $19.5 billion you valued at. What percentage of your business is the 19? Your stock's going to open sharply higher. I'm wondering how much higher, because it's bidding $42.75. That's $1 above where it closed, but the ask is up at 50. Is this a third of your business you're getting $20 billion for, or what?
It's a quarter of our business, Joe.
Well, and it's a quarter of your business that you're valuing at half your market cap.
Yes, sir. What? I'd just leave it there.
John Snow's, you want a fee on this? This is pretty good, isn't it? What? All right, we're going to talk.
Pretty good.
Yeah. This is the kind of deal Cerberus might be. So this is a value unlocking transaction as well.
Hugely,
Andrew.
Joe. Huge.
Yeah. Right.
Huge. And that's why we flew back to make the announcement today.
Now I'm wondering whether these guys are suckers with all this oil money.
No, they're not. They're strategic investors. They know. I mentioned it a few minutes ago. They're economically diversifying. Jobs. High-paying jobs in the petrochemical sector that aren't being created in the U.S. anymore. They're being created out there.
Are they looking, Andy? Are they looking to buy profits or influence? The Journal has a big story this morning.
That. I was going to ask
about sovereign funds, but
they don't care
foreign
if they make
investment
money.
in general. Yeah. Are the new funds or the new investors, have they been around long enough to know what they're doing? Are they reckless? Are they careless? And are they looking for money here, or are they looking for a sphere of influence?
You know, I'd put it in between, Carl. I'd say global credibility. I think they feel they've arrived in so many ways, but in narrow ways. And getting global credibility, we take that for granted as a 110-year-old company. Look at the name brand that John's involved in, Chrysler. No matter what you say about Chrysler, that has global brand and global reputation and global credibility. Same with Dow Chemical. This is a way to get there and to be part of a global franchise and learn. And frankly, at the end of the day, shared knowledge and learning is what they want to do on a global stage.
Andrew, you on the board of Citigroup?
Yes, sir.
What Morgan Stanley? That was nasty yesterday, what they said about Citigroup and Vic Penny. You satisfied? Was that by default?
You know, Joe, I've been on the plane for 17 hours. I probably haven't read what you talked about.
You mean the best short idea of 2008?
Morgan Stanley, where Panic used to work, called Citigroup. It was a how do you do? Welcome to the CEO job at Citigroup. We like Citigroup as our best short idea, Morgan Stanley said yesterday. Was he by default? Did you want that GE guy?
You know, I will not comment as a board member, Joe. You know you can't ask me that.
Yeah, I know. I can. I just know that you won't answer.
And you will.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Appreciate your time today, Mr. Liveris, very much.
Thank you, Joe.